Hey guys, what's happening? So getting back into the Philip K. Johnson Hulk series. In this one, Banner loses his ability to Hulk out, and he dies a horrible death. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, this picks up after Banner's return, when we last saw the Hulk tell Charlie to go with Banner to see Doctor Strange, even though before the Hulk has told Charlie not to listen to Banner. But nonetheless, Banner's hoping if he takes Charlie to see Strange, then he'll be able to separate Charlie from the godskin of Lycana, which on one hand makes her crazy powerful, but at the cost of her constantly needing to kill and feed, which at times has led to Charlie completely blacking out, only to wake up sometime later and realize that she's murdered someone. And as terrible as this sounds, as terrible as it is, Charlie does not want to give up this power, and after trying to hide this dark side for some time, she's now hoping that Strange will give her the ability to control Lycana. Which now brings us to issue 24 with Banner and Charlie making their way to the Sanctum Sanctorum. But when they arrive here and they get ready to knock, it's not Doctor Strange who comes to the door, but instead they see Clea, which right away has Charlie like, "Doctor Strange, you're a lot bustier than I thought you'd be." Because again, all this time they thought they were going to meet Steven at the door. But even still, with them seeing Clea here, she mentions that she remembers Bruce, or better yet the Hulk, from back when he was with the Defenders. And she tells the two of them that she knows why they've come here. Because with the eldest calling for all sorts of creatures to go after the Hulk, that hasn't gone unnoticed. And she's also aware of Charlie becoming a skinwalker and donning the godskin of Lycana. But she's under the impression that both Charlie and Bruce have come here to get it removed and restore Charlie's humanity. But immediately Charlie's like, no, that's what Banner wants. I'm strong now. I'm never giving that up, not for nothing. And right here, Clea tells them what we've heard before, because she says Lycana's godskin gives great power, but in the end she devours prey, servant and vessel alike. Lycana's children too will never stop hunting you. And Charlie knows this, though she's not bothered by it the least bit, so she asks Clea if she could just help her control it. And right there Clea just says how alike the two of you are, to where after that Clea invites them in. And I mean, on one hand, you could say that there are similarities between Charlie dealing with Lycana, as well as Bruce and the Hulk, but in the case of Charlie, I'd say the vast majority of it is very different, because she wants this power. She's always wanted to be powerful, and now that she has it, she's more focused on not losing it than the lives that she's taken as a result of her not being able to control it. And I'd say that alone makes the two of them very different, even though Banner has tried to control the Hulk before. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. When Charlie and Bruce go inside, Bruce asks where's Doctor Strange? So Clea tells him that Steven's in Asgard, which for Strange that goes into the One World Under Doom tie-in, Doctor Strange of Asgard. But while they're here, Charlie notices that some things have been knocked over, so she asks Clea what happened, and Clea just tells her that the Sanctum Sanctorum hosts many occult energies, and sometimes they collide. And after this, as they follow Clea to the lower levels of the Sanctum, Bruce asks if these colliding occult energies are anything that he needs to be worried about. Because the last thing you want is for something to attack Bruce, he hulks out, and have that lead to the Sanctum getting wrecked again. So in response, Clea tells him that he can't come down to the lower levels with her and Charlie, because when she gets started, there's a possibility that Bruce could be provoked and the Hulk could come out, so they're not even going to take that chance. And instead, she tells him that Steven suspected that Bruce's path would eventually lead Bruce and Charlie here. So for that reason, Strange prepared what's basically a waiting room, which they call a drawing room, that'll prevent Bruce from hulking out. So at first, Bruce is like, wait, no one has the power to do that. So Clea explains to him how it works, because she tells him the drawing room exists in its own plane of existence, one in which Gamma has little meaning. I assure you, you will be quite safe inside, and it will keep us safe from you as well. You want the girl kept safe from her fellow skinwalkers and from herself? This is all I ask. Please enter the drawing room, Dr. Banner. So Bruce agrees for Charlie's sake, and just before he goes in, Charlie thanks him for looking out for her, even though the two of them aren't as close as she is with the Hulk, and she really just wants to let him know that she appreciates that he brought her here. And as Bruce heads into the drawing room, Charlie even suggests that maybe after all of this is said and done, they can go and do some sightseeing, see something cool, since Charlie's never been to New York before. So Bruce is more or less like, okay, yeah, that would be different than running for our lives all the time. And he tells Charlie, sure, I'd like that. But when Bruce goes into the drawing room, it isn't too long before he realizes that something is not right. And make no mistake, this room definitely works as advertised, because in this plane of existence, Gamma works differently, so Bruce is not able to Hulk out. And it's not long before Bruce realizes that walking in this room was a huge mistake, because suddenly he sees a familiar figure moving behind one of the chairs, and after that he sees something coming out the walls, and before you know it, Bruce is surrounded by werewolves. So Bruce starts banging on the wall and trying to tell Charlie to get out of here, it's a trap. And keep in mind, Bruce cannot Hulk out in this room, so he's on his own here. And this is where these werewolves tell him that Charlie can't hear him. And they go on to say, time to pay for what you and the girl done to Lycana and us. And as Bruce is just like, Hulk, help? These werewolves tell him, not as smart as people say, are you? We told you, there is no Hulk here. As they go on to tear Bruce into pieces and eat him alive. And back over with Charlie, it's not long before she realizes that something's not quite right. Because as she heads down to the lower levels of the sanctum, she tells Clea like, hey, you know, when we were talking, it sounded like you knew a lot about Lycana already. So Clea tells her, I do, indeed. So Charlie's like, okay, what we doing next? Training montage or something? And that's where Clea responds saying, I suppose that's what Clea might have done. Yes? So right away, Charlie's like, what do you mean that's what Clea would have done? I thought you was Clea. Just before this person who's definitely not Clea shuts the door, and she tells Charlie, the witch Clea looks human, but she is not. Did you know that? Even when she fell, we could not consume her. Everyone who tried was burned alive, but her blood goes down just fine, and the power it brings is more than enough to fool a stupid cow like you. So basically what we find out here is that with Charlie and Bruce's recent encounter with Norgal, who is the harmless Rutling from issues 22 and 23, anything that Norgal heard, the eldest was able to hear through him, and that's how the eldest knew that Charlie and Bruce were making their way to see Doctor Strange. So in response to getting this lead, the eldest sent this monster, who we're not really told a lot about as far as their name or what they actually are, because she's only referred to as a child of Lycana a couple times through the course of this. And aside from that, we just know that she got the drop on Clea, she drank Clea's blood, and that's how she's able to borrow her power. But nonetheless, this creature that kind of reminds me of a weaver in some ways. It asked Charlie, do you remember Norgal, the harmless Rutling in the woods, who you killed for nothing? He heard you speak of coming here, and when one of us hears you, the eldest hears you as well. And they go on to say, murdering a little thief, did you think we would ever stop hunting you? We would never have stopped hunting you. You were not the first to take the god's skin by force, but every vessel of Lycana gets one cycle of the moon, and no more. That is the law. So once again, we're getting references to this law, like Norgal had mentioned before, as well as more information about how Lycana usually operates. But in the middle of this, the werewolves come back, and they're all basically like, yeah, get the god skin and we're done here. But she just looks at him like, wait, you're back? Banner's dead? And the werewolves are like, oh yes, split open from belly to brains, not a morsel left behind. Pity you missed it. And it's hilarious, because these guys, they don't realize what they've just done. Because right here, she's just like, what? Tell me you didn't eat him. Like, tell me you left his remains behind. Yes, unconsumed. And that's what the werewolves tell her, like, no, we ate him. He's gone, sister. Nothing to worry about. But not even a second later, they have something to worry about. Because it's here where the consumed and dismembered pieces of Banner's body begin to hulk out from inside of them and come back together. And this just has the main monster just terrified. Because she's just like, idiots. You are not to consume him. Even dismembered, the fractured sun cannot die. Which is one of the craziest things about this whole fractured sun situation. Because a huge part of what brought the eldest back in this series is the fact that the green door is shut, which before is what allowed Bruce and other Hulks to die and make their way to the below place, but also return from the dead by walking through the green door. And this idea even falls in line with what we saw in Immortal Hulk, where Brian Banner was trapped in the below place for a while, and also what we saw with the leader, which was a crazy twist with the connection between the leader and Brian Banner, with how the leader was manipulating Brian through Bruce's whole life. Like, I'm still not over that plot twist. But during Immortal Hulk, when the leader figured out how to manipulate the green door, at the time he threatened Jennifer Walters with the idea of if she were to die again, she wouldn't be able to come back. Because if she died again, he would allow her to come through the green door and enter the below place, but with the creation of the red door, she wouldn't be able to leave after. And so once again, after Immortal Hulk, After Starship Hulk and going into this series, with the green door being shut, there was always this question of what happens now when Banner dies, because it's not like he's getting through that green door. And it's possible that even now other Hulks are trapped in the below place, like the other fractured son who's been gone for some time. But it's like now with Bruce, we're seeing that he's basically being rejected by death. So instead of going through the whole cycle of the green door and the below place, the Hulk just comes right back. And as of right now, I'm not really sure if this is heading more in the direction of like a Deadpool insane healing factor thing, or like when Thanos was rejected by death. I'm not sure. But either way, it's crazy to see how it plays out in this series. But with the Hulk reassembling, this thing tries to hurry up and get the Godskin from Charlie. But Charlie's just like, too late, Frico. He's coming. And he's the strongest one there is. Which has also been an ongoing thing in this series, because we've often seen the Hulk say he's the strongest one there is, but throughout this series there's been this lingering warning of someone or something else that's even stronger. But I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever or whoever else that may be, this monster definitely ain't it, because when the Hulk goes after her, she's basically fighting for her life the whole time. And a lot of this is really her making an attempt to create some space so she can head for the exit, but leading up to that she just goes on about how the Godskin is ours, and the witch is ours as well. Just before she tells the Hulk that the eldest still lives, because what happened back in Vegas, that definitely wasn't the end. And just after this, she tries to jet out of there while saying this is not over, because I think more than anything she's running out of the power she stole from Clea. But as she tries to jet out of there and return to the eldest, Hulk just grabs hold of her ankle and slams her on the ground, only to hurl her to the top of the sanctum and right into the window of the world. But she's not able to just go through because the window's sealed against supernatural threats. So she's calling out to the eldest like, "Eldest, please let me out." So with the Hulk being such a nice person, he gives her a hand and he gets her through that window as quickly as possible. And it's just like, man, the Hulk really don't care. Like, he really just sent her through the window of the worlds. And after doing this, the creature goes back to its regular form, which now looks more like a vampire. So Charlie asks, what did it mean earlier when it said that Doctor Strange was far away? And this is where Charlie and the Hulk get an answer from someone else with a Norse accent when they hear a voice saying, "Strange is in my lands, creature," just before they're struck by lightning. And that's what this voice goes on to say, "I thought us allies, Hulk, yet now you protect this foul creature, born from the defiled bones of my kin. Surrender the beast named Lycana, lest her fate be yours as well." And that's when we see that it's none other than Thor, because I mean, who knew? So yeah, now that this sets up things to where Thor is going to be coming after Charlie, we all know that the Hulk's going to protect her, which means another Thor versus Hulk match is coming. Though I doubt Thor is going to be hulking out this time. But then again, you never know these days. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.